Shauna says, I'm going to plant some loofah plants. So she plants 3 of them, I believe. And I've shown the vines, how they have taken over the whole fence of the garden, and then some. And this is just a very, very small picking of the ones that have dried so far on the vine and are now going to dry in here. Hoop house with no roof. But you don't understand how many of these are out there. I mean, I'm honestly talking at least a couple hundred. So when, the economy crashes or whatever, I hope loofahs are as valuable as gold, because then we'll be sitting pretty.
Okay, remember the loofahs I showed you that were in the hoop house? Peeled them, took the seeds out, cleaned them. Loofah sponges.
So the job for today is to finally get rid of the loofah plants, because obviously it has froze and the vine is pretty much dying or dead. But I've got this is just the very beginning. I've got a ton of loofahs on this vine still. I have no idea what I'm going to do with, but I'm going to clear all this off the fence. I'll pile up the loofahs just for the sake of interest to see how many we've got. And then I don't know what we're going to do with them. But we've got a ton. Well, after a good 2 to 3 hours, I got the whole loofah vine cleaned off the fence. And that is one tough vine. But look at this. What in the world are we going to do with all these loofahs? That's not even all of it. Got that little pile. Got some along there. And there's no way we can dry all those. So I have no idea what we're going to do. But there's good and bad about loofah. The good, and we'll try to show some of the video we took earlier in the year. It was a great habitat for good and bad bugs, but a ton of bumblebees, ladybugs, other just regular honeybees, wasps. Just love the flowers, but still a bunch of bad bugs in it, like leaf-footed bugs and stink bugs and things like that. But we just left it all alone, and it was really cool. But the bad part is when you have too many loofahs produced, what do you do with them? But all of this was out of 3 loofah plants. There's one that was planted, and then Shauna planted another one here in the corner, and then one more was planted. You can kind of see the vine right there. So 3 loofah plants, and it extended all the way to there, all along this fence, all the way down, probably about halfway. So grows like crazy, was a great habitat, but now I'm not sure what we're going to do with loofahs. We decided to be open again today, Sunday, so I got still a couple jack-o'-lantern buckets left, loofah sponges and flower bouquets, and some bunches of eucalyptus.
loofahs to look like when you pull them off the vine. If you want to get the loofah sponges, you need them to have dried and look dead. So basically you grow your loofah plant and you grow it all season and you just let it hang out, and then towards the end of the season in fall, they all, not all, but a lot of them start to die on the vine, and this is how you pick them. And then once you pick them, they're dried, and then you cut the end off, get all the seeds out, peel that outer skin off, clean them. You usually have to soak them in vinegar and Dawn solution, clean them, let them dry, and then you've got a great sponge. We have so many of these, so many, you just don't even know. So all the green ones, really, they're kind of like cucumbers and you can eat them. We're not going to eat them. That's why we're looking to give, especially all those green ones, to someone that could possibly use them. So luckily our neighbor who has some pigs and goats and chickens, we have chickens and our chickens have eaten their fair amount, but their animals could eat a lot of the loofahs that we cut down. I saved some of the brown ones, gave her some so she could have some sponges as well, and I'll show you what I do with these. First, I have to peel the skin off the loofah, and sometimes when it has sat for a while and it's really dry, it's kind of tough to get off, but you just kind of work at it. And then I am just banging it up against the side here to get all of the seeds out, and you just find something hard and try and bang all the seeds out. Here, what I'm going to do is, since they're all pretty dry, I'm going to start to hose down these loofahs. Sometimes if you get them wet, then the skin will start to come off easier because that shell gets really dry and stuck to the sponge part. So I'm just going to hose these down and hope that the skin on these will peel off a lot easier than the one I'm working with right now. When you start, you do need to cut the end off of each side. That way, all the seeds will come out. That's how I started to get all the seeds out. Just cut the ends off, start hitting them on something, and sometimes you have to use your scissors to get down in those holes, to open the holes up so that you can get the seeds out a lot better. And just keep hitting them on the sides until you stop hearing all those seeds rattling around inside. Then you know you've pretty much gotten all your seeds out, and then that's when you're going to start to peel the skin off of the loofah. As you can see here, the skin's coming off a lot easier, and that's because I've wet the loofahs and it just peels off easier, separates easier when the skin has been wet and it's not so dry. had to move the loofahs in the hoop house because it was going to rain and I needed them to dry out. So here are the ones that I was cleaning, those last loofah sponges. And so this is what they look like with no seeds, all cleaned and dried out. So they're kind of hard, but when they get wet, they'll soften up. Some of them are softer than others. Like this one is a bit softer. And then some of them have like some spots on them that I couldn't get out. So these I'll probably use for cleaning, like horse troughs, different things like that. This one has like a big spot right there, but you know, when I'm using it for cleaning things, that's fine. Cleaning furniture that we're doing, that kind of thing. I don't care about that. This one's really soft. And then the good ones, like here, we'll use for us. So that is the end of our loofahs. I have a ton more that I've already harvested, cleaned, and they're dried, and I've had those for a long time. But this is the end of these.